Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's Talk Jets Radio. Kevin Sirkin here. I just wanted to hop on and do a quick video, a little change of pace from all the back and forth arguing with free agency and Adam Gase and Joe Douglas and all that stuff. Um, First off, also apologies for any video issues throughout this. I've been trying like crazy to fix my camera. I don't know what the issue is. Unfortunately, I can't get over to AT&T during all this coronavirus stuff, but like the constant refocusing and stuff like that, I can't fix that. So any tech experts, please feel free to leave a comment. But I wanted to talk about my favorite game as a kid growing up, and I think I have a unique perspective on it. As you see the crowd going crazy here, that was the last home playoff game that the Jets have played in. And again, my favorite game was the week before this. This is the aftermath, which Peyton Manning, he did not have a chance this game. Jets won 41-0. Crowd was absolutely insane. Love seeing this old offensive line, which paved the way for Martin and Richie Anderson, which you'll see in a few plays. But the week before was truly so unique in the sense that I really don't think that any fans today will ever get to experience a game like that. So going into that, the New York Jets needed either the Browns, and again, this is week 17, they either needed the Browns to lose to the Falcons or the Dolphins to lose to the Patriots in order to have a shot at the playoffs. So if the Browns would have lost, it would have been a wild card, and the Dolphins would have been for the division. So both those games were at 1 o'clock. The Jets were at 4 o'clock. And me and my dad, we get to the stadium probably, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock, whatever it was. Might have even been earlier at that time, because I'm not sure there were any restrictions as far as when fans could get there. I know now it's 5 hours before, but back then it might have been earlier. So we were there incredibly early, and there's different people in the lots, TV set up, the excitement in the parking lot was just crazy. And I felt like this was going to be like one of those moments that kind of like Jets Jaguars back in '98, which I was 10 years old at the time. That kind of like secured me as a long term fan, because if you were part of that atmosphere that day, that was just incredible. So you want to experience more things like that. It's like it's addictive. So I felt like this was going to be a day like that. And as it gets closer to the 4 o'clock kickoff, nothing was going the Jets' way. So I remember as we were walking into the stadium, I'm pretty sure the Falcons were down by I think 8 points, and they were I think inside the red zone, inside the 5 yard line, something like that, and it was first and goal, and they get stopped 4 consecutive plays. Browns, secure the wild card spot. That game's a wash. So we look up at the scoreboard, and the Patriots, I want to say there was maybe 6, 7 minutes left as the 4 o'clock game's getting ready to start. The Patriots were down by 11 points. And this was the only game left that the Jets, could depend on. As we watch Richie Anderson barrel into the end zone, Mawai, Randy Thomas, Becht, Corbett throwing blocks out there. That play was just awesome. I wish we had more like that to talk about. And again, that crowd that day, just absolutely insane. And again, it was because of what was created the week before. So again, the Patriots, they were down by 11. It didn't look like there was any hope. Now, what was so unique is that today, in this scenario, as fans were in their seats and getting ready to watch the game, we'd all be locked in our phones, right? Checking ESPN, getting the updates. Back then, there wasn't that technology. We didn't have the cell phones. So people were gathered around whoever had a Walkman. Now, later on in the game, as it got closer, I'm pretty sure it was put on the TVs because there was a little bit more excitement and buzz in the stadium. But as it was approaching the Jets game, they didn't have. I don't even think they had the score on the scoreboard, because they didn't want it to be a distraction for the players, like in case they weren't playing for anything. So there were just hundreds of fans all gathered around different people who had a Walkman, and the Patriots go down the field, get a touchdown, 2 point conversion. Suddenly now it's a 3 point game. And as all this is going on, Jets game is now taking place. And it's not really going great. I'm pretty sure there was no score throughout most of the first quarter. And I don't think there was one fan in that building that cared at all about what was going on the field. Every single person in that building was locked into somebody that had a Walkman and was like announcing the game. So, long story somewhat short, I guess. The Patriots, they get the ball back. I'm pretty sure it was 3-and-out. They go down the field. Vinatieri's lining up for a field goal. Excuse me. And I still remember the guy who was probably, I don't know, 7, 8 rows in front of me. And I was section 132 growing up, which was great. I was 2 sections over from Fireman Ed, so I got to like really experience that vibe that he created. The guy that was in front of me, he was pretty much doing play by play, announces, the snap, the kick, it's good, and the place just erupts. And I'm pretty sure at this point, don't quote me on this part, but I'm pretty sure either the Jets had just, gone 3-and-out, or, maybe the Packers were starting to drive a little bit. Something like not great was going on in the game, yet the crowd just went insane. And like players were looking up like, what's going on here? So obviously, game's now in overtime, and still not one person in that building cared about what was taking place on the field. Everybody was locked into, again, trying to figure out if this game was going to have some meaning or not. And I'm pretty sure at this point now the game was on TV, in the concourse area. So a lot of fans were starting to gather around that way. And sure enough, Patriots get the ball, go down the field. And I still remember I'm in my seat. I'm just locked into the guy on his Walkman doing the play-by-play. Announces the snap, the kick, it's good. And the entire building just went absolutely, like, I can't even describe the level of insanity from that point until the end of that game. Brett Favre stood no chance. I know it didn't really have a lot of meaning for the Packers that day, but there was never any doubt in my mind after the Patriots came back and won that the Jets were going to blow that game. There was never a doubt. Like, no way. There was no way that they were going to blow this opportunity. I know the history of the Jets would suggest, all right, this is probably going to go bad. They would find a way to squander this opportunity. With that crowd, the way it was, there was no doubt in my mind the Jets were going to win that game. And sure enough, I'm pretty sure they were up like 17-7 at one point as it was closing in on the end of the first half. And I think Brett Favre got a big touchdown. You would think, like, all right, the Packers have a little momentum here. What's going to happen in the second half? Jets came out flying in the second half. Corbett had that big touchdown towards the end. And it was just, rocking Jets chants and defense chants. And again, you'll never experience something like that today because everyone's got their phones, and it's a different vibe, a different atmosphere, and just the closeness of everybody. 80,000 fans, all just like hoping and praying for a game to have a little bit of meaning. And then it does, and then you're in the playoffs, and then a week later, you're kicking Peyton Manning's ass 41-0. So, again, it's a shame that 18 years ago was the last time that we have a home playoff game to talk about, but it's still fun to reminisce about, so that's my story about it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon.